David. I'm Zenbock.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. I see you're into comics.
Oh, very much so. It's my lifelong story or obsession, however you want to call it.
An obsession. When did you start this?
Oh, very small. When I was around 7 years old or so, I was at a barber store and I saw a comic book there. I was like, this is what I want to do. Right that moment, it hit me. This is what I want to do. I went home and I started drawing my own comic.
Really? Your own little strip?
Yeah, it was like actually a 70-page book. That was amazing for what I did at the time. Now it'll take me years to do a 70-page.
I don't get this. Most kids draw, a picture of daddy or mom, but you did a whole book.
Yeah, I had like characters, like animal characters, very simple characters, back at that time. I made my own little stories that were eternally long, just going on, like this stream of consciousness type kind of situation.
Comic ramble.
Exactly, totally rambling. I just wanted to get a big book done like I seen it at the barber store.
Really?
So I figured, it's going to have around 70 pages or so. And,
so where did this obsession with comics take you in school?
Well, I used to draw all the time. You know how it is in school, like, on a blackboard and just draw all over the place, not do any homework.
Yeah, no homework. No homework.
No homework.
So I take it this puts you in the direction of learning art and commercial art.
Well, what happened was that I started self-publishing at the age of 14, my little comics, and sold them to school friends. I really loved that, so I put out 19 issues of my own little book on a weekly basis, and then I kind of I lost interest in it for some reason, and I started self-publishing. I don't know if that was more music, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was music. I think I got really into music, and nonetheless, I started self-publishing again at the age of 18, and I tried to get into art school because that it seemed to be the right way to doing it. I never got accepted at any art school. I'm like, well, I don't know what their problem is. Maybe it's just not my thing.
Maybe you'll start your own art school.
Exactly. So what I did, I started my own publishing company. I published 6 magazines. They've been highly successful. And then I came to the States and I enrolled in the Dover Art School, Joe Kubert Art School, I think it's called, something like that. Yeah. And I graduated after 2 years there.
Wow.
And then I started working for Marvel Comics, Acclaim, DC, all the larger companies.
Oh, so you've done the other stuff.
Oh yeah, I did until I got disenchanted with it, and I decided I have to go back to my roots and do what I really want to do, which is from the heart, exactly.
Yeah, back to that.
This is the only thing that's going to make me successful at the end. And as soon as I put out my book, it's really interesting. People were going nuts over it. It's totally insane.
So what kind of comics do you have here? You can show me.
I have a book called Chaos Moon, basically, which is I would call it an urban fantasy book. It features some sort of spirituality, new age thinking. It's mainly a little bit of thinking book. It just has a half-naked girl on a cover for sales purposes.
It's like a Shirley MacLaine meets comics.
Exactly, it goes a little bit in this direction. It's basically the story of a medium living in New York City, and her alter ego is Chaos Moon, and she can go into different dimensions. And what it really is basically deals with mythology. We have Egyptian mythology, we have Indian mythology. We have a crystal skull in the first issue. We have all these kind of things. So it's a little bit more thinking than X-Files is, and it's definitely non-violent.
That's great. So
it also comes out in Europe at the same time.
Alrighty.
European heavy metal. I got that instantly. It's because of my old contacts from over there, and they were really getting into this. And the first book is going to come out next week, actually, in Europe.
Really, first book.
And the book rights to France and Italy and Spain is interested, and it looks it's going to take off.
Looks like you're going to be touring soon.
Yeah, I actually am going to have a European tour set up for next June. We're going to be touring Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Austria, France, basically, yeah.
I'll probably see you on a commercial TV doing interviews soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, before I disappear here, anything else here you want to share with my viewers?
Well, basically, that I want to share basically that you really should follow your heart. Whatever it is that you do, don't just do it for the sake of money, because money's going to come once you do it from the heart.
That's it.
I understand that you have to go through rough times. I'm going through rough times. My life has been kind of rough, from that point of view. But it's only because everything I had, I reinvested into my future, basically. When I had money, I invested it again into the future. When I achieved good work, I tried to do better next time. So it's a constant flow, basically, until, you get to some...
It's a very common story with artists.
Paperback, the first Chaos Moon paperback. And that was a cover for Raven Chronicles, put up by Caliber, another paranormal series. So we have mainly covers. This is a project I'm working on right now that's going to be coming up next year. This is actually an original page from the first Chaos Moon book, the only page that hasn't been sold yet. Since, interesting enough, selling of artwork has become my most precious source of income. I mean, it has been really, really viable source of income.
Frogs, too.
Yeah, there's all kinds of animals. I'm trying to get pretty much a lot of things in. That's also 2 pages from Raven Chronicles, pencil and inked myself. Here we have cover reproductions of issue 3 and 4. These are like laser prints. You see also different media, so I'm trying to experiment with airbrush.
Make a great poster.
I'm working on posters for next year. We're going to give out a whole series of posters. They're really going to be quality proofs, you know. This is a little bit like on the verge of like, you know, it's okay, you know, but it does a job. But you see like it's all kinds of different medias, you know, different compositional components I'm trying to involve.
Well, I like the celestial. I like the mandala.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dolphins, whales, you know, that's
And
basically...
even almost a cousin of mine.
Yeah, exactly. He's from your brother planet. Do you see, basically, that's what the book is about, especially, like, you know, as you say, celestial things. We have aliens, you know, we have the chakra, we have all these kind of type things, basically.
You take it, you raised the Kundalini in the comics.
What?
You raised the Kundalini in the comics to that.
Here we have also cover reproductions. These are done basically a traditional black and white style first, and then colored in basically with watercolor. Then here we have something else. We have what we tried out, you know, manga, Japanese comics basically. My wife, she's a children's books illustrator, so she tried her hands on doing a manga version basically of my characters. So we did a series of characters basically that are just like for kids, for little kids. You know, several versions. Also, you see here, this is like, you might not be able to see that well on a camera, but this is like a manga version of this cover.
Alrighty, I got it.
Okay. And I think that's pretty much it.
Let me ask you one question here.
Yeah, sure.
My question here is, now I see black and white is an easier medium to break into because it's obviously easier, cost effective for publishing. But when you get into the coloring, that's a whole art form they call colorists?
Absolutely, because the thing with colors is like, it should be a problem in black and white too, but separation. Is some of the things I did not achieve here is separation. Some of the stuff looks too cluttered because it's too detailed, but in color you really want to have separation. You want to have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. This is your main goal, however you're going to achieve
You break
this.
it down 3 ways.
Technically, yes, because my stuff has a lot of backgrounds in there, so therefore there's mostly a foreground, a middle ground, and a background, or a foreground and a background if it's, you know, whatever picture it is. But you want to get this separation so it makes it easy to read.
Okay.
So you can look at a page. And the other thing with colors also, which would be a compositional problem, is that balance. This is your main goal, basically. You want to achieve a balance. Like in the sense of that, like, you know, you should be able to look at a page in color in black and white, and you should feel comfortable with the page.
Right, so the page is a pull in and not a push away.
Exactly, so the eye is being led around on a page, you know, so you feel comfortable on a page. You want to be there.
Let me ask one more question on this. When you do a color page as a whole page versus a panel, little panels, do you have to keep in mind what the little panels next to it look like?
Absolutely. This is the thing, for example, that one of the things that I'm trying to achieve here is that I'm not just adding panel after panel, I'm trying to make a whole page like a piece of art. Then I'm trying to look at each separate panel and look at the composition of each panel and try to design the panel so it brings the story across. So it's a very multifaceted way of logical thinking processes that have to go on in order to reach a successful product.
I got it. Well, I appreciate it. I really thank you for the education on comics.
Thank you.
Konnichiwa. Welcome to the stage, Apollo Smile, the live-action anime girl.
時間が過ぎてゆく My love's no one-way ride 知らせておいた方が良さそうね戦闘会一今にも打ちそうありがとう
Now for a taste of things to come.
talk to me about the character that you are, a live anime.
Live action anime girl.
Live action. I left out action. All right.
Can't leave out the action.
Well, tell me about it. What is it you do? I mean, fight? What do you do? Talk to me.
Well, I'm a singer and a songwriter. So in real life, that's what I do. I do martial arts. I perform live. And in the comic book, that's what I do as well. But I get to do it sort of in a more sci-fi, intergalactic element. There's a really excellent scene where Dr. Sorg is in a hospital, and he actually uses this teeny little whistle, and he calls down one of his genetic mutants. He's actually a real bad guy who helps fight, and his name is Tano, and he's one of the experiments that Sorg works on. Kind of like takes him over and makes him do his dirty work. So it's very cool.
Paolo, you wear tight pants.
Yes, sir, I do.
You wear it. Yes, you definitely. And like I always say, hard body. There they are, hard. All right, here we go. So we're going to take a look at tight pants?
Yeah,
You're going to do that
rock
for us? Okay, here
Tight
goes.
pants.
Tight pants.
Feeling groovy.
You are.
Kensuke Okabyashi.
Ken, tell me what you got here. What are you doing? You got art, panels?
Yeah, basically I'm working on a project called Pineapple. and this is with Michael Bear and with Robert Stull and Pamiati. And basically, this is about a girl who is a survivor of the Waco, Texas cult. And there are no survivors on the newspaper, but technically, what if they were a survivor? And she's a survivor, and what happens is the FBI are very, very unhappy about that fact because she has all the evidence. She can testify how the FBI used some force which they didn't like. And so basically, she has been taken capture. She has some side effects. She's partially blind. She can't see without some visors on. And whatever she touches, that conducts electricity, explodes within 3 seconds. Hence, she gets her name, Pineapple, which is in military terms, a grenade. And her hair is shaped as a pineapple stem because it's really spiky on top. These are several of the pages which I'm working on right now. They're based off of a model, actually, which I found in the figure drawing class, which I took her and decided what else. She has some playful features that I would like to include in the model, so character. So this is what I did. It's coming out through CFD Chanting Monks in April, and that's going to be the special collector's edition. And after that, there's going to be a 32-pager first issue. Scientist who's trying to keep her contained. So that's when she first realizes her powers, and she just explodes everything. And this is her new image. She just realized that this day that all this thing is happening to her. She just turned 16, and the whole point of it is just to try to show that a lot of teenagers, they come up and they have all these expectations, thinking how the world is going to be like so great and everything. But it's really not like that. So I just wanted to try to make her like an example of what 16 teenagers go through.
Ask you a quick question here. I see we have the open drawing and what kind of technique do they call this? Is it like a line or?
Yeah, basically this is what I use is I take a Japanese manga stuff. They use like a special kind of crocodile tip. Mm-hmm. It's called a G pen, and it's like the most common. It's equivalent to the Hunts 102 crocodile in the United States. But this is a technique I learned in Japan, and what sometimes I do with like technical lines, like sometimes with the hair or the cross hatching. What I like to do is I kind of use this. It gives me a little more flexibility. On lines like this, however, like here or like here, I would tend to use a thicker brush. I use just a thicker brush to do those things.
Well, let me ask you another question now.
Sure.
On the other one, that's colored.
Yeah.
The coloring, that's a whole separate field in itself from what I'm learning.
Right. Actually, I'm taking a Photoshop class right now. It's a Photoshop Release 4. It's a recent version. Excellent. It's very good. Top studios like Top Cow or Wildstorm, they've incorporated a lot of this kind of stuff. Basically, like on the background layers, it even can allow you to modify line qualities of the inking. And basically, what I can do with the coloring is I can like choose all these diverse colors and make them into layers and put them one on top of one another in such a way that it really makes the background.
Now this is computer?
Yeah, this is all computer.
So this is like a Macintosh or an IBM type of
Macintosh, multimedia.
So another artist into the Macintosh. All right, my last question is, the doing art, something that you got suddenly decided to start a year ago, or when in your life did this become a calling to do art?
Something I've been doing since I was a little kid.
A little kid. Taibach, wherever you are, you're at 8 years old and you're drawing, and they all start like this. My son. He's 8.
My mom, actually, she's an artist, and she first regretted it, but I really got turned on by the Japanese manga stuff. I did a lot of internships there with a guy, Matsumoto Leishi from Star Blazers. Mm-hmm. He's a science fiction artist in Japan. And I got hooked up around there, and I really liked the line quality there. And then when I first got introduced to the American comics, and about like 3 years ago. 3 years ago was the first time I ever picked up American comic, and it happened to be a Jim Lee Wildcat.
You know, there's another thing I've seen in some of the artwork in the women, very feminine, but there's an androgynous quality. Is that deliberate? Yeah,
I'm basically trying to I'm finding that the female bodies, they have a lot of muscle in some part, and it's a shame to neglect that. I think a lot of rhythmical part of my work, but fat. There's a lot of like
Right.
fat tissues and everything, and yeah, it's a shame. You know, a lot of people don't include like the sternomastoids because, you know, women don't put it in because it's like too masculine. But I
Right.
find that the sternomastoids, the muscle that goes here, are probably the most rhythmical thing that helps the head go into the body. And so I try to do that. It's more of a traditional kind of thing.
All
I
right,
guess.
I was just curious. Well, I thank you very much for your time.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Zenbock has arrived to a table. Another honey at the convention here. I am Zenbock, and you are.
Manon Kelley.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Oh, so you're showing your pictures and stuff you've been doing here. And I guess I want to ask you, you were in Chiller. I passed you in the crowds a few
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yes,
A
I
very
was.
crowded convention.
He was really good, yes.
Yeah, it was great. Kevin puts on a good show. And speaking of shows, you got any new projects you're on?
Yes, I'm actually working on my own video called Short and Sweet Director's Cut. And I'm doing the editing and putting the whole thing together. It should be out in a few weeks.
Yeah, how you like the editing, picking stuff out? Fun?
Actually, it's probably my favorite part of it because I could see, you know, my mistake and then I
Yeah.
could pick the best parts of all.
Yeah, it's great because on the performing end, the sitting back and watching something really helps you to make an improvement in the next time around.
Oh, yes, I truly believe in it.
When do you expect to have that out?
Probably in a couple weeks, actually.
Really?
Yes.
That's great. That's great. Can you talk to me about some of the stuff you've done?
Yes, I appeared in several Femme Fatale magazine. I actually did a lot of TV shows, Saturday Night Live, Late Show with Conan O'Brien. I worked on New York Undercover. I did tons of talk show, a whole bunch of films. I'm actually going to work on a film also called The Pump Boys.
The Pump Boys.
Yes. So
I'm not going to touch that
no,
line.
No, it's not. It's not what you think. Don't
Okay,
don't
okay,
worry about
okay,
it. It's actually
okay.
a comedy. It's
Okay.
pretty good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we should be working on that pretty soon. I just got off for a role.
I got a secret to tell you.
Yes.
Somebody doesn't know it, but Conan O'Brien,
Yes.
he's got a date with a Vulcan showing up on the show soon.
He does.
Yeah, he doesn't know it yet.
Well, that would be interesting.
Yeah, we'll be. We're going to just beam in on him one day.
Great.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Good.
I ask you a question about some characters, comic characters. We're at a comic book convention, so what's it with you and comics?
Actually, I model for a comic book character. I'm a character for a comic book.
You're a character. Well, I know you're a
Yes.
character. Well, tell me about the character.
Yeah, actually, the book is called Vampire, and my name is Bethany. And this is a couple issues from the book.
What does Bethany do?
She's a vampire, but she's a good one.
She's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah, she goes to the blood bank and checks in for blood.
Yes.
She doesn't feed on the humans. All righty. How long you been doing that?
Actually, I've been working with them for over a year now.
Really?
Yes.
Really? So is it different modeling for comics than it would be for stills?
It's a little bit different. We still do a photo shoot, and then from the photo shoot, she'll pick some images and draw the images, or also they'll use some cover will be actual real photos.
I got a question now. I'm looking very close at you, and your eyes are incredibly beautiful. Do they catch the color in the comics?
Oh yes, the cover. I
Yeah.
make sure that they color my eye green.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we get that. It's unique. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All righty, and I'm going to be walking around and seeing what other trouble I can get into.
Okay.
All right, you take care.
Bye.
Jeff, I got a question to ask you.
What's that?
Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh my God! I almost forgot to tell you. Sci-Fi Network. They did a big piece on me and Brink Stevens when we were in Atlanta for the Atlanta Dragon Con. Have you been there?
No, I
It's
missed
pretty
that
cool.
one.
It's pretty cool. It's not bad. I mean, Atlanta's but Slice was pretty cool. But they did a big piece on us talking about screaming and what it's like to be a scream queen, quote unquote, so called. And it's about 20 minutes on there. It's pretty cool. You guys should check that out. Definitely.
Right.
They air it, maybe once every few weeks or so.
I will look for
also,
it.
did you see my E thing?
No,
The thing
tell
on
me. Tell me.
Entertainment Channel.
Tell me that
They
one.
did a big thing on me when I was in France for the film festival for Cannes. I told you my 2 movies premiered there, and I had about an hour and a half on the E Network, which airs at least once a month. It's called Sex on the Riviera. You got to check that out. It's very, very cool. You get to see me trying all different types of lingerie. Always fun. Always fun.
A hot channel, huh?
Hot channel.
No, I'll definitely have to check that out. definitely have to check that out.
Well, I'll do that.
All righty. Well, thank you.
Thank you, baby.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Great time.
Here at the Big Apple Convention.
Big Apple Convention. Yep. Interesting was that I do a couple of other conventions, Chiller, and all of a sudden I found my Scream Queen friends here, and they would do comics. They're into comics. I was amazed the overlap between movies, comics, and that the comics even got into Three Stooges, and from traditional stuff to even Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
You know, that's the thing about comics that I've always loved. It seems that comics seem to inspire so many different things. And some of those things have taken on even far more popularity than comics in many ways. I mean, from film to Scream Queens. I know some of the girls that you're talking about that do that. One in particular, Manon, Kelley, and Forte does a comic book, and she found Manon and said, wow, you'd be perfect for my comic book. And she started to draw a comic and used her as the model and other things like that. And then there's Apollo Smile, who's a Japanese manga version of the perfect, the perfect comic book woman.
Right.
So,
and singer and performer.
Yeah, she's great. She performs at all our shows here in New York. So.
Yeah, no, it's great. I was just amazed. I didn't realize how wide a spectrum that the comic took in. And you have actually covered the whole base of what comics are about that I saw here. Talk to my viewers. I challenge anybody out there with any creative flair. Send us a tape. Send us a comic. We'll get you in touch with people that are doing. Because this is a show that's interactive. This is your life if you're into it. A fantasy from the heart and passion. And this is the place to do it on Zenbock's Fantasy Fi. I'm going to be beaming out shortly.
I'll go with you.
You want to go with me? Okay,
Let's do it.
Okay, you ready? And we're going to beam out. Okay, just get ready now. Just hold still.
Are we on?
Hold still.
Are we going?
Ready? Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Where are we going?
My mother was a pagan. She lived like a long time ago. My dad was a Vulcan, and that I know. High on a mountain tower, among the clouds. My mother died at 90. My dad, he up and gone away. Zenbock and the Galactic Boogie Band. Zenbock and the Galactic Boogie Band.